Okay, good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to this next episode of FPL Family with me, Lee, and this is Sam. And look at that, Sam. Look at that thumbnail. Look at that thumbnail. I'm looking happy in an FPL Family thumbnail for the first time in how long? I don't know. I'm just giving it a bit of that. I'm looking over lovingly at Phil and I'm thinking, thank you, mate. Thank you
Lee,
for turning my season around. What a guy.
Just stop a minute.
What?
Stop. Everyone, just stop.
What?
Let's take 1 minute for the fact that it is game week 13, everyone. And there are two.
Look at them greens.
Two green arrows on this screen.
Look at them bloody greens. Let's go.
Oh my goodness.
We are so
me.
back. We are so back after
I'm
what
not sure
feels
we can
like
count
an
as back. But we have got two green arrows, so you know.
Been a couple of people in the chat saying like Liverpool are so back. I'm like, boys, it's West Ham. Let's just chill. But you know, we're going to talk about Liverpool being back. We're going to talk about us being back. We're going to talk about free hits being great. We do need to talk about the Haaland triple captaincy not landing. I mean, for those of you that played, and there's loads, right?
Oh, gosh.
I think there was more triple captains played than free hits this week.
There were 1 point...
What?
I've just written it in the pod script for tonight. I want to say there were 1.1 million. But it might have been 1.3 million triple captains.
Flipping heck.
It's a lot.
Goodness me. If you
over
did
double the triple captains to free hits in the end.
I mean, if you played the triple captain this week, what are we saying? I mean, I have to say, had I not got the free hits, is that the right English? If I didn't have the free hit chip to play this week, I'm certain I'd have played the triple cap, wouldn't you? I think we sat here last Sunday, and I'm pretty sure we said on Ohana on Thursday, yeah, it's a really good week to triple captain, and it was on paper, wasn't it? It was all there.
There's no doubt in my mind that had I used the free hits, I'd have triple captain this week. The thing is, I've done that stupid thing where over the course of the weekend, I haven't actually sat down and done the maths, but over the course of the weekend, as things happened, I went, that's a goal I've missed. That's a goal I've missed.
I think that's
the free hit. Because it's
the nature of the free hit, though.
I totally agree. Yeah. And I said before I played the free hit that I was worried about that. I was worried about
who do you have then? Kudus goal?
Kudus goal, Voltemada goal, Mateta goal.
Oh, yeah.
A Virgil clean sheet.
Yeah.
So there was a lot that
I had a few
went
of those
away,
as well, actually, to be fair. Yeah.
But also, I have dodged a couple of stray bullets because, for example, no show from Nick Pope with a groin injury.
Yeah.
Caicedo, I would have started.
Is he out
probably.
like longer term now, Pope? Is that an issue for you?
You don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Dubravka might just be playing a bit for me.
Wow.
We'll have to find out. Caicedo, I probably would have benched, I think. But
Against Arsenal at home, would you have, do you think?
I think so, because when I look at the rest of my team, I think he would have ended up being one of the players on the bench. But that would have probably meant that then I played Mickey van der Ven, who got a Norton. So actually, I think probably in the end I think I'm probably all right. I think I'm probably up.
Right.
But the important thing is the arrow is blimmin' well green.
That's the important thing. That is what we're here for. We're here for the green arrows. We'll talk about our teams a bit later on. If you're new to FPL Family, maybe this is maybe you played your free hit. Maybe you're thinking, actually, I do want to talk about FPL this week. A bit like me. I actually want to talk about FPL this week, unlike the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Could we know, everybody, podcasters, if you're listening to this on a podcast, just go over to YouTube just for 30 seconds of your life. Just pop over and just take a look at Lee, because he's actually smiling.
I think the podcasters can probably hear it in my voice, to be honest with you.
But Lee's got a smile on his face. In fact, Lee's had a smile on his face pretty much all weekend. It's been pleasant to be around you because we've had a lovely weekend. The free hit's been played.
Yeah.
In the battle of the chips, we were on the right chip.
I mean, when Foden scored after 57 seconds, I was just like, here we go. Yeah. I was like, here we go. Come on.
And the thing is, this morning, just as an insight into our life, we got in very late last night. We might talk about why later. But
sounds dodgy if you don't tell the story now.
What?
We're out partying all night.
Oh, no, we'll tell it. We'll talk about it later.
Right.
But this morning, the children and I stayed in bed very late. We had a nice lie-in. Lee, on the other hand, got up and went to the gym. Very impressed by you. That was very impressive.
Yeah.
So he comes home. He comes home from the gym. I'm making pancakes, and I said to him, Lee, there's a lot of rumour that Salah's going to be benched today, and you went, oh well, he'll just come on off my bench for a 1 pointer then, won't you, in my team? And I said, no, the way your weekend's going, I think you might get lucky. And Lee from FPL Family, so you did, because you had a very, very, very nice bit of off the bench jamminess.
I like how you've gone straight to that. That's nice. I don't want to point out. I've made some very, very good decisions on my free hit. I've made got on the wrong end of some 50-50s, but no, you go straight to the jam. No problem. You go straight to the jam.
Just like
That's
to bring up the jam because you've had a nice weekend. Liverpool have won. You got some FPL points for a change. Green arrow.
You dodged a red card in your team, but no, you keep talking about my jam. That's no problem.
I didn't have a red card in my free hit team.
In your head, rent free. Let's say hello to It's going to be one of them tonight, guys. Honestly, one of those tonight. George is in. Hey, George. Happy Lee. He says, mate, I am. I'm delighted. I'm not getting too carried away with Liverpool winning, but I'm pleased. It was a better performance.
Played a fortnight competition with Max as well over the weekend, didn't you, when we were at the O2?
I wouldn't call it a competition. I would say they had... I wouldn't call it a competition. I would say there was a pop-up at the O2. That's why you were late in last night. That's why you had a lie-in. We went to see JLS at the O2 last night, and very good it was too. JLS, an example, actually, who was a warm-up pack, also very good. And at the O2, any of you that know the O2, if you live in the UK and you've been to the O2, as you walk in the front doors of the O2, there's this like Virgin Media gamepad area on the left-hand side, just on the other side of the stairs, right? And they mix it up. But this weekend, there was like a Fortnite thing going on there. So Max and I were just like, bang, we are on it, right? Straight away on it. And they were like running this little competition. And it was not to do with, Victory Royales or anything. It was just like, you have one go. It was on Xbox as well. I'm not used to Xbox controller. I used to PS5, but anyway, I was like, try my luck with Xbox. And they were like, right, it's all about kills. Just about how many elims you get, right? So I shouldn't keep saying that the K word on here. I get banned when I. It's all about elims, right? So Max had a go and I had a go. I got 2.
So for a little while, Lee was top of the leaderboard because he was the only person to have played.
But I was the first one out.
And went out.
And then Max got 13. He did well, didn't he? He got 13.
He came second, didn't he?
He came second. I think the winner got something like 14, 15. So, he did great. He was
very annoyed.
He did great. He wasn't very happy with it. But, he outperformed me. Easy. Yeah, easy. So, George is in. Hello, George. Who else we got? FPL Stinky. Hello, mate. Nice to see you. That's a new name. We've not seen FPL Stinky in here. I hope it wasn't a stinky game week. It certainly wasn't for many that were playing the free hit. We've got Will Webby is in. Nice to see you, Will. Evening. Played the triple captain. Gutted. Still got a green though somehow. Well, Will, nice one, mate. It was one of those game weeks where even if you did waste the triple captain, if that's the right phrase, which I think we probably have to say it probably is the right phrase, there was still plenty of other FPL points to go around, so well done. Kelly T is here. Nice to see you, Kelly. Who else we got? We've got Chit07, Joseph Robinson. Andrew Yee is here. Andrew, nice to see you, mate.
Andrew.
Hey, guys. Bad week in FPL for me. Another one. Andrew's having a tough season.
Had a tough season, haven't you,
But you know what? That's what I love about this guy. That's what I love about it.
He still comes here.
He's still in the Slack, cheering everybody else on. He's still here, entertaining us and being part of it. That's brilliant. I'm here for that. Andrew, fair play and round of applause, because that's what we're here for in FPL family. We're not here to be like, oh, you've had a bad game week, good game week, whatever. It's just like, good or bad, we enjoy it.
We do.
Says the guy who's been a grumpy bastard for the last 3 weeks because he's had red arrow after red arrow.
I've had my husband back for the last weekend. It's been lovely.
Yeah, Liverpool winning up. I've said last.
It's Liverpool. It's not FPL. It's Liverpool.
It is. I'm happy with my green arrow. Don't get me wrong. I'm very happy with that. But Liverpool actually putting in a half decent performance and getting a win. Look at this. Look at me. I've not been like this for 3 weeks.
I know. I have to live with you.
I know it's West Ham.
You don't have to look at your face when Liverpool are losing. I do.
That's nice, isn't it?
It's true. Just look miserable.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. We've had some incredible super chat, I have to say, from Nigel the Crab from Simon. Very nice to see you, mate.
What are you doing here?
Nigel, that is a crazy super chat, mate. You do. I don't know why you've done it. You don't need to. I'm going to read it out and maybe that'll give us some insight. But, mate, that is very, very generous and we really appreciate it. Hello, Bonfields. Hello, mate. Long time no see. Yeah, that's what we mean. Come on in. Life has been hectic, mate. That's a fact. It's a fact. Everything's happening. Change your job. Looking for somewhere to live in 2026. If anyone needs a short-term house, mate, please reach out. Wishing you all a fantastic Christmas and New Year. Mate, that is very, very kind of you. It's something you absolutely do not need to do because you support us enough. But I know life has been hectic for Simon. So, mate, listen, I hope everything's good.
And I know it's been a little bit of a tough time lately because it's the anniversary of his little girl that he lost.
Yes.
So our thoughts have been with you, Si.
Yeah, we love you, mate. We love you, mate. We hope you're all right. Hope you're good. And thank you for that super chat. That is unreal. So everybody get in the chat and show Simon a bit of love in there, mate. And welcome back. Yeah, long time no see.
We have missed you, Simon.
I bet he's had a good week. In FPL. Come on, Si, get your score in the chat. I want to know. Is he just here because he's like...
No.
80-something?
No, I don't. He's probably taken a minus 800 and something.
He's not that guy, is he? He's not that guy.
He's not the guy that comes in and gloats. He is the guy that might turn up and say, guys, I took a minus... Yeah. And it'll be a stupid number. Yeah. Size that guy, but he's not a gloater.
86 this week, minus 42.
Yeah. That's more likely to be Si.
Oh, he said he had a terrible week.
Oh, no.
Even more reason to be here.
That's why he's here.
With the family, mate.
Comfort. Because he thinks, Lee's being miserable, so I'll come and be miserable with him.
Yeah, Lee's not miserable today. We had a super chat earlier from Azzy. Thank you, Azzy.
Hey, Azzy.
Smith. He says, R.I.P. Billy Bonds, a legend from a QPR fan. He says, another sad bit of news this weekend with Billy Bonds passing away. Minute silence at a couple of the grounds this afternoon, which was absolutely the right thing to do. What a legend. What a legend. And Malachi Fox, thank you for the super chat. Hi, Lee and Sam.
What's going on?
Hope you're both well. 51 points. Not bad.
Very nice.
Not bad. And a 33 green arrow to 76. Having a good season, Malachi, right?
76k, very nice. Inside the top 100k, that's lovely.
Yeah, and he said a massive thank you to Mr. Cody Gakpo from Liverpool. Very nice. Did you have him on free hit, Malachi, or did you have him just in your team? Because, he's pleased a lot of FPL managers this week, not least this lady on my right. A nice
He's my
pick.
favourite Liverpool
Very,
player.
very good. Very, very good. Let's see who else is in. He says he's had Gakpo since game week 6 wildcard, Malachi. There you go. So you had to.
That is a lot of loyalty.
You've had to put up with some guff, mate. So well done for that. You deserve your patience. Patience
been paid
has
been rightly rewarded.
It's been paid off. Stefan Hughes is in. He triple captained Thiago, mate. That is a shout. That is a shout, Stefan. Well done.
That is because I thought George. Good old George.
He had a great week, didn't he?
Was brave by captain Thiago, but we all know that George is a bit Brentford mad. So we all thought it was just him.
Dango as well, didn't he?
Did he tango with Dango?
Well, he was talking about tangoing with Dango in all bloody week in the Slack. So if he didn't, I'd be disappointed.
He was trying to encourage the rest of the Slack to do it. So probably he did. But he also captained Thiago. So well done for those of you that are brave enough to go against Haaland.
He did. He says in the chat, he did. Very nice, George. Having a good season, mate. Having a good season. C4 call 800k green arrow, Sam. 800k green arrow. This is why. How many people we got in? 400 people already. It's because it's a good game week. Everyone's happy this week. Everyone's happy. And Patronus 679 says. Isak and Gakpo had both Isak and Gakpo so good the points from Liverpool this week. Well, listen guys, we're going to talk about our teams a bit later on. We'll talk about what we're thinking about game week 14. Any thoughts to play the final remaining chip, the triple captain?
Not in a midweek round. Midweek round's chaos.
It is, isn't it? It is. And I think that's probably something before we get stuck into the games that we probably should preface here, shouldn't we? Is that the deadline for next game week is what, Tuesday?
Yes.
Tuesday night. So yeah, the games are coming thick and fast. And there's a few suspensions. I think Caicedo's going to be out for that. And then the following week, I think it's a 3-game ban, isn't it, for Caicedo? So you might have to do something about him in your team. You probably do, don't you?
I mean, to be fair, he was the chopping block player anyway.
Was he?
Oh, so actually, it's probably just... And we'll talk about... I got a lot of issues. A lot of issues.
It's a lot, flags.
Yeah, all right. And I'm in a position where, if you remember back to this time last week, I was saying one of the real negatives of playing the free hit was that it was going to leave me coming into this game week, the midweek round, which is always risky with rotation, with only one free transfer.
Yep.
And that is always a concern. So, yeah, Caicedo was on the chopping block anyway. He's probably forced my hand. But yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we'll talk about your team a bit later. We'll do thoughts on transfers and stuff. Let's get stuck into, Sam, a few of these games then. Let's go to here and... Why don't we start? I mean, George is here. He's here every week. It was one of the first games of the weekend. Let's go for it, shall we? Let's do Brentford versus Burnley. Let's do this game. Fantastic stuff. One of the things you said to me when I was putting my free hit draft together on the Ohana on Thursday was like, don't get a Brentford defender. I back him to win, but Burnley always get the odd goal. And I said, listen, maybe, but you'd back Brentford at home all day long. And so it was. I think we were both proved right in the end because there it is. There's the odd Burnley goal. And Fleming now... I don't think anyone's talked about him in FPL. Certainly we haven't for the last few weeks. But that's something like, what, four in his last 4 or something? 4 in his last 5 for Fleming, which is kind of a bit mad. But I don't want to talk too much about Burnley because I think the bragging rights and the conversation rightly should focus on Brentford here. 0-0 for a long time in this game, right? 0-0 for a long time. And it wasn't until actually I noticed that I think Sharda came off and then the game kind of changed a little bit. I don't know whether maybe the manager sort of tweaked it a little bit. I don't know. But Thiago's just a boy, isn't he, at the minute? He's just a boy. I think if he didn't miss that penalty last weekend, that would be, what, George, tell me, is that like 6 goals in 3 game weeks if he scores that pen and like 3 double-digit back-to-back hauls? I mean, listen, you can spin the he only gets pens narrative all you want, but they win a lot of pens.
I'm not being funny, but one of the things that we do in FPL is we pick penalty takers.
Of course.
Why do we pick penalty takers? Well, because they have an additional route to points. And you never know when there's going to be a penalty. Now, with Brentford, there seems to be a penalty every blimmin' week. So, at least one penalty. In fact, in this game, they were like almost back-to-back, weren't they? Like, it was like, penalty,
And
penalty.
it's always Dango that wins it. You notice that? Like, Dango seems to win the pen.
Very good at winning pens.
It's a very much a penalty.
Very good at winning them.
I don't know, it's like a...
He draws the tackles.
Well, he's that sort of player, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's that sort of player. He's tricky in and around the box, so I don't mind him at all. But Thiago, definitely the one to have. Now, I had him on my free hit. Of course I did. The next couple of weeks, though, for Brentford, let's have a look at the fixture ticker.
Do you not spend a lot of time in the north of London?
Well, they've got Arsenal away next, which is obviously very, very red fixture. Then it's Spurs away, which, given your home form, might not be too bad a fixture. And then it really turns them in 16 with Leeds and Wolves and Bournemouth at home. So I don't think anyone's... I mean, I'm certainly not... I think if you've got Thiago, if you've got any of the other Brentford boys, I don't think you're selling by any stretch of imagination.
Oh, God, no.
But equally, if you've got him on free hit like I did this week, I think you can absolutely afford to sit out 14 against Arsenal. Can score against them, no doubt, right? Especially if Saliba and Gabriel are still not available. But you can sit it out next week with a view maybe to getting him in 15, 16. I would be astounded if by the time FPL have topped me up to 5 free transfers in 16, I'm not using one of them to bring Thiago in. I mean, it just seems... just a no-brainer, to be honest with you. I know he's finished this game with a little bit of a knock. Maybe George or somebody in the chat can tell us about
George. I asked George about this.
The extent of this knock. Yeah, what has the manager said anything?
Dr. George. Dr. George, because obviously George goes to the game, he's a season ticket holder, and he was saying that he was treated on the pitch for quite a long time and then went off, had a conversation with, I nearly said Frank, that's not right, with Andrews, and didn't disappear straight down the tunnel, did stay and sit on the bench and watch the game out. So that would suggest to me that it's probably a bit of a precautionary sub. They were winning quite comfortably. It was the right dregs of the game. It was like in stoppage time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think
don't need to risk him. They can't mess about with him at the minute. He's
too important,
especially with what happened last season with him. They've got to wrap him in cotton wool a little bit, but. It's just his confidence. He's got to use a bit of a Max and Evie kids phrase, he's got a bit of aura, isn't he, at the minute?
I don't know what you were going to say. I thought you were going to go on some sort of...
wasn't going on a 6-7 thing,
6-7 nonsense.
But he's definitely got some aura. Even his, I don't know whether... And I've said this a couple of times on air, and it's just complete nonsense, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Oh, no.
I have a little bit of celebration theory. You know, sometimes the way players celebrate, I'll get to Liverpool in a bit, right? But the celebrations were one of relief. When Gakpo scores that second goal, it's like, oh, thank Christ for that. We've won a game, you know. Whereas Thiago's second goal here, he's given it it's certainly what I took from the celebration. He's a religious guy because he's pointing himself. He's going, not me. He's pointing to the sky. It's his God's doing, you know. So he's just he's giving it all that. He's geeing up the crowd and stuff. This guy is on cloud 9 right now. I don't think you can afford to go without him, probably for 15. I mean, we'll get to your lot in a minute, but Thiago going and coming up against your lot at Spurs, that's looking all right in a minute.
Terrible record. Do you think so? They don't come to us very well.
Well, everyone's coming to you very well at the minute, aren't they?
No, even last season. Do you not remember when we were absolutely appalling last season? We beat Brentford. George will tell you. We were in our worst state of affairs both times. We beat Brentford twice. You took Max to the Brentford game when I was doing the walk around London at night.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't think I'm that worried about missing this one because we've been so poor. And then when Spurs were brilliant. And then the same thing happened at the G-Tech. And also you got the Frank factor this time in that game.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So I don't know. I think for me, given the fixtures for some of my other attackers over the next couple of weeks, I'm just going to sit without Thiago, especially given the little knock. Maybe we see a bit of just care over the next couple of games because it's 2 lots of 90 minutes in a week. So that is quite a lot. And I think I'd rather go into 16 able to then look at it and go, right, mini wildcard territory.
Yeah.
In you come.
And again, I'm not going to repeat myself from previous live streams, but oh my God, Henderson is so good, man.
Oh, for goodness sake, can you stop this? Oh my God,
George, how good is he?
Please, can you just stop?
He's one of the most underrated. He's got to be one of the most underrated footballers of a generation, Jordan Henderson.
Lee,
don't you stop.
You
don't know.
Lee.
You don't. He's never played for your club, so you don't know. The guy is an absolute
honestly,
human being
I
of the
have
highest
never known
order.
you so obsessed
Ask the Brentford fans how good he is. And they're only seeing a 60-70% Jordan Henderson. Imagine having him in his prime. That's why we were so good when he was in his prime. Honestly, Sam, even that third goal, the Dango goal, he gets his head up, Henderson, and he's the one playing the assist in the 80, 90th, whatever minute, right? I think he's absolutely incredible. And Brentford are now, they're seeing what we've seen for years as Liverpool fans. The leadership, everything about him is so good. Now, the reason I just mentioned him a little bit is because even when he was playing for us, the coughing fit's starting again, is it?
It's because you started going on about Jordan Henderson.
Have a cup of tea. One of the things I will say about Henderson, even when he played for us in his sort of twilight years, was 2 games in a week was a stretch. Now, they've got to go to Arsenal in the week. Can he play that game? I'd be surprised if Andrews reels him out again. I'd be surprised if he rolls him out again. And if he doesn't, that's a big blow for Brentford, in my opinion, because he's such a key player for them. But we'll see.
Depends on whether he wants to play against Arsenal or Spurs, I guess.
Correct, yeah. If you were... And we've got to move on because we're doing too much just on Brentford. I know George is loving it, but we've got to move on. Would you, as Brentford, go... We've had a really good win this weekend. We've got Spurs away next weekend, which we think is winnable, given your former home. Listen, it's just facts.
Do you know something?
It's just facts.
For weeks and weeks and weeks, Liverpool have been utter guff, as you would say.
What?
And I've not sat here and slagged off your team.
Right, we'll do your team in a minute, and you can tell me what you think the problem is then, or not. If you think it's all hunky-dory and rosy, it's great.
I just said that. I don't have a go at your team, and you seem to
I'm not having a go at your team, I'm just saying.
You take a pleasure in it.
Brentford are going to Spurs on the weekend.
You are loud and gobby tonight. Do you know why? Because you've had a good week. Liverpool have won, your team's gone well. You're like,
it used to be just Ange. Now I can't say anything about Spurs, can I? Even if it's factual, it's not even an opinion, it's just facts. You haven't won in like 5 or 6 at home. So if you're
Brentford,
talking
about Spurs. All you had to say is, the question I think we're going to ask is, if you were Brentford, what would you do? Would you go, do I roll out the big guns against Arsenal and try and get something from a game that's going to be really difficult because, champions elect and etc, etc, etc? Or do I hold some of them back and play them away at Spurs? Yeah. Which is a game that we always struggle in, and against our old manager who'll want to get something against us. I think that's how you were trying to word it.
Yeah. So what I was going to get to that, yeah. So with that in mind, do you just play all your Arsenal players because Brentford roll up to Arsenal during the week and throw the game? Not throw the game, but they just admit that this is just a difficult game.
Because I don't think that's how Brentford are.
Okay.
I don't think that's the kind of way that they play. I think they've got enough squad depth. I think you're right about Henderson. I don't think he can play twice in a week. So I think they have to decide with him which one they play him in.
Okay.
But the rest of that team, I think they can afford to play them both twice, unless Thiago's carrying something, and then they might have to be mindful of that.
Fine.
But I think Brentford will try and win both those games.
Let's move it on because this stream I think it's going to be sponsored by George Day if we're not careful. Brentford 3, Burnley 1. Good result. Right then, I'm not allowed to talk about Spurs. You just give your opinion. Try and cough your way through this one. Spurs 1, Fulham 2. Oh God!
Why have you gone to?
What? Should I go to a different game? Wow! Go and sort yourself out.
No, it's because you wound me up. I started talking too much.
What's that? 0, Liverpool 2. Are we back? I don't know. Are we back? Oh. You had Gakpo in your team. I had Salah. What are we making of the Salah benching or the Salah no-show? I mean, he was very popular on free hit this week, and I've got him in as well.
He?
Yeah, he was. I think he was popular on free hit this week. George is saying in the chat, Liverpool are back. Tracy's saying you'll never walk alone. Listen, Tracy, we needed the win, didn't we? We needed the win.
What time at night is it in Dubai?
It must be very early in the morning in Dubai. Very early.
It's like 2:30.
But thanks for tuning in either way, Tracy. We needed the win. We got it. I think West Ham were very obliging, as I think a lot of us that were on free hit were expecting them to be. I don't know. From what I watched, I thought we were a bit more disciplined. I thought we looked more balanced. I thought we were defending better. I thought Konate didn't have too many brain farts like he usually has every week at the minute.
Do they, West Ham?
They didn't have a lot. The one brain fart that we did have at the back, Bowen nearly scored and equalised in the last minute. And if you watch the replay of that goal, if you watch the camera behind Bowen turns away, looks disappointed. But you look at Virgil's face. Virgil is he screams with like anger that we've allowed that chance to happen. And he's right? They're at 10 men because Paquetá's decided he's got too big a mouth. And it's like 10 men, 1-0, 2 minutes to go. Don't give up a chance to someone like Jarrod Bowen. It's bonkers. So we had problems with, sort of defensive frailties, right? But anyway, it was better. Do I think we're back? No. Do I think it's a step in the right direction? Yes. Do I think that we look better without Mo Salah?
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I do. Thought we looked more balanced.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I said to you at some point today, I can't even remember when it was, if it's a big call from Slot to leave out Salah because it's Salah. And if you're Alex Isak, you are now the man in that team, right? Because Wirtz, I mean, he should be, but right now he's not.
He was today.
Right.
Watched Florian Wirtz today. Brilliant.
But right up until this game, he hasn't been great. Same, Gakpo has been a bit hit or miss this season, I think. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
So if you're Alex Isak today, you look at that game and you go, right, this is my opportunity for this team to play and feed the ball to me. It's my opportunity to be where I want to be, have people getting me the ball. And I think the pressure was on him, to be fair, whether he realised it or not. The pressure's on him to score today because he's leading the line for Liverpool. And I thought he did a good job of it. I thought you looked better in attack. I thought Wirtz looked good from the bits of it I've seen. We weren't in for all of it.
Today, Florian Wirtz.
Well, to be fair, I haven't watched as much of it as you have probably because we were out watching Max. They absolutely smashed it this morning, by the way.
They did great, didn't they? Yeah.
So we were out watching Max and that coincided with the Liverpool game. So we haven't watched all of it. And so the bits I've seen, Wirtz looks good, Gakpo looks good. And it didn't look like you missed Salah. So the interesting thing for me now is what does he do for the next 2 matches? Because you've obviously got the midweek round and then the weekend. And then Salah will be flying off to AFCON anyway. So what does he now do? Does he say, okay, well, I've just got a win. The team looked good. Defensively more solid. Attack was working better as a unit. Do I go with that again in game week 13 and 14? Sorry, in 14 and 15. And then let Salah go off to AFCON and then we see where we revisit when we get back? Or does he put Salah back in? And that's what's so hard to call because you did look more balanced. And if you were going to play like that again in midweek, I'd feel, well, one, more confident having Virgil in my team because he's obviously coming back in as part of my free hit ending. But two, it would also make me think again about a Liverpool investment outside of Virgil.
I mean, the other thing that made a big difference, and I sat here last week and said it, and I was fuming that he did it. I was fuming that he put Szoboszlai back at right back again last week. I couldn't believe it. And he didn't, right? I sat here last week and said, put the dinner lady at right back if you have to. Yeah. Just put Szoboszlai in midfield. And that's what he did. Szoboszlai went back into the engine room and he put Gomez at right back. Now, is Gomez a really good right back? No. Is he fine? Yeah, he's fine.
He's all right, yeah.
And it's like, it's okay. Particularly then if you don't have Salah on that side, you've got somebody that's actually doing some defensive work, then it's fine.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is Dominic Szoboszlai in the middle of that midfield. He is our best player this season by a mile. And if he puts him at right back, it's a massive waste of talent and resource. So that made a massive difference. Now, look, it's West Ham. I'm not getting too carried away. But the Liverpool fixtures do look pretty good for the foreseeable. I make them, or the Fantasy Football Scout guys, as you'll see on the table if you're watching on YouTube, put them top of the ticket for the next 5. So Sunderland at home next week, Leeds, Brighton, Spurs away, and then Wolves at home. So, look, we've got the fixtures there to go on a run. I need to see more. I need to know that this is not just the Villa performance from a few weeks ago where now we lose the next 4 or 5, right? We've got to make sure that it wasn't just West Ham being crap. And Sunderland will be a difficult game, right? That will be a difficult game. I know it's at Anfield, but maybe we'll do Sunderland next, right? They were incredible again this weekend. So it will be difficult. Absolutely no doubt about it. Anything you want to talk about from a West Ham perspective then before we get on to, well, maybe we'll do Sunderland next.
I backed Bowen on my free hit, which do I regret? I don't think I do.
I think there's a few Packetars out there as well, you know.
Was there?
A handful.
Yeah,
a handful. Not many. Not many.
Well, he's just an idiot. Paquetá is just behaved like an absolute plonker.
Yeah. But Bowen, why'd you go for Bowen?
Because defensively you've been awful. Like,
facts.
You've been awful. And I just thought, You'll go there, you'll attack, because that's how you play football. You're just going to go out and attack. You'll probably not play Szoboszlai in the middle because you've got problems at right back. That will leave the weakness in the middle of the midfield. That will allow opportunities for West Ham to attack because they're defensively absolutely terrible as well. So the best way for these two teams to play this game out is to attack, which is why I went for Bowen, because I just felt like if West Ham got a goal against you, it would likely be Bowen that would be involved. And actually, as it happened, they didn't have a lot of chances, but the one chance they did have was Bowen, and he really did nearly score it. So
we're leaving them alone though in FPL, aren't we? We're not going West Ham,
100%. No, because also they're about to be made even worse because two of their defenders are off to AFCON. So they've already got no defence that they can tolerate. So I think if anything, they just become, despite the fact that we were thinking they might get better under Nuno, I still think they remain a team to target because from game week 16 onwards, they look even worse defensively.
Okay. All right, well, we'll leave them alone.
And now they're out. We've got Paquetá out as well, so they've lost their creative spark too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't believe. I just,
it's just petulance.
You know, when it's against your own team, you're just like, keep talking, mate, keep talking.
The best thing about
if it was against any other team, I'd be like, what are you doing? Shut up.
The best thing about it is Alisson. Because Alisson and Paquetá are international teammates. And Alisson's trying to talk him off the ledge.
Yeah.
Like, when your away team goalkeeper is trying to stop you getting sent off, you should know you've gone too far.
Yeah. You watch when he goes for the second, after he's been booked, he walks away and he comes back. And rather than getting his way, Virgil just goes like this, puts his hands up, goes out the way and lets him walk to the referee
just
and
let
starts
him do it.
Absolutely brilliant. Right. Do you feel like you can talk about Spurs
now? Yeah.
Okay, go on.
It was funny, this one, because we were actually inside the O2 Arena, and for those of you that have been there, there's no real signal to speak of once you get inside. And I said to you, didn't
Wi-Fi's flaky, isn't it?
The Wi-Fi's flaky and there's no signal.
Major UK entertainment venue, flaky Wi-Fi. Joking.
Literally probably the biggest entertainment venue in London outside of a sporting arena. Anyway, so we're in there, and I said to you, oh, don't worry about it. I won't know how bad Spurs have been until we leave. And that's genuinely how I went into this. Now, I felt two kinds of ways about this game. The first one was the team sheet came out and I looked at it and I thought, oh, what the hell? Like I did in the Champions League against PSG. Okay. I was like, don't like this.
What was interesting?
Conan Moani, I think, deserved his spot up top, to be fair, because I did think actually he played well against PSG. But I didn't like the front three at all. I thought there was a lack of... I mean, Kudus is back. That's great. That is great.
Goal. Did take his goal, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's doing his best, to be fair. You've got to hand it to him, right? In a team which is dysfunctioning at the minute, I won't have an opinion, but you are not functioning well. He is one that's doing all right. You've got to hand it to him.
He's been fantastic. Since Kudus arrived, he has been the bright spark in that team. But I said to you, I think, what's frustrating as a Spurs fan when you watch it is defensively we weren't good. Vicario makes a mistake, fine. Goalkeepers make mistakes. It's not like this shouldn't be a thing that the crowd gets on his back.
What did you think of that?
Really peed about that. But the crowd in the South Stand, they are like that. Like the whole stadium get like that.
It's crazy. Why don't I talk about that just while you get over this coughing fit? So I didn't like that at all, actually, the Vicario thing. I did not like it at all because when I think back to recent performances, particularly there was one in Europe, you're going to tell me once you're ready to talk again, who you played. He was like you went there and we won 1-0 and he was like Superman. I've never seen anything like it. He single-handedly won that game for you. And he's been probably one of your better players this season. I think of all the, and there's a few things you've got to sort out under Thomas Frank, no doubt about it. He's not one of them. I don't think the keeper's an issue. So yes, he's cocked up there, no doubt. He should just whack it into Rosette and get back in his position. And he's trying to play out from the back. He's trying to play it up the line. He's trying to do as he's told because Spurs are instructed to play out from the back. In that instance, he should have just got rid. Okay, he's made a mistake. But you don't... First of all, props to Harry Wilson because unbelievable strike from there, even without a keeper. But then, secondly, the crowd getting on his back and booing him and stuff. I'm with Thomas Frank. Thomas Frank calling out the fans saying, you don't do that. I'm with him. 100% with him.
I'm with him as well. I think... in my mind, it's a Vicario mistake. Vicario is not the one I'm annoyed about. Because like you say, I think he's been one of our best players this season. And even in this moment, he is doing the hard work that he's supposed to be doing. He gets himself in trouble. That's fine. Goalkeepers get themselves in trouble from time to time. The defenders are the ones that I'm annoyed about. Because when that ball is lost by Vicario, there's a wider shot that they show in the replays of it, and you've got Danso. Mickey van der Ven, to be fair, is marking somebody, but you've got Danso who's just standing there. You've got Pedro Porro who's in no man's land, and there's somebody else in that frame at the same time. Not a single one of them runs to the line. Not one of them.
Yeah, but they're not expecting it, are they?
But they should be, Lee. The point is, when the goalkeeper's not there, because if Romero's there, I'm telling you that doesn't happen, because he'll cover it. And that's what annoys me, is that there's a lot to be said about those defenders not doing what they should be.
Okay.
I think, so from my mind, it's a disappointing result. But what I liked about it is we're 2-0 down. The first goal is what it is. The second goal is a mistake. It puts us 2-0 down. The crowd's on their back. There's a bit of I'm not going to excuse the Spurs fan because it's not right at all, and I think it's disgusting. But there is a little bit of trauma from last season when we sat there week after week after week, and the football was so awful that I think when players make mistakes, the crowd just goes, "Oh God, we're going back to that again." And there is an element.
I don't understand that though, because when the crowd did start booing and getting on the players' backs last season, you ended up 17th.
Yeah.
So,
but where are we now?
Why doing it again? Why are they doing it again? I don't understand this fan base. Why is this? I don't get it.
What do you mean?
Well, and it does seem to be like a stadium. Maybe it's a stadium thing, because most of the Spurs fans I talk to don't agree with the booing. They don't think it's the right thing to do. And you've just sat here and said, well, it's a bit of a South Stand thing. They do like to do that. Well, stop fucking doing it. It's stupid. But Get behind the team.
But I do also think it's one of the negatives of being in a stadium that's been built for acoustic noise.
Oh, it's just such a bad excuse, Sam.
It's not an excuse. I'm not saying it's an excuse. If you're not prepared to listen, then don't ask me the question. But I think the point is that we have watched some such appalling football over the last few years that stadium, there is a lot of negativity in there. And it does lead, when there is a mistake, there's a groan. And the groan echoes around the entire stadium. And it can only be a bad thing for the players on the pitch. It can only be bad. And you sit there and you're like, come on now, get on their side. So be supportive. When they start playing well, the stadium, you can see the stadium pick up, and then the players feed off of it. It's so important that the fans are behind them. And I don't think the fans are... I genuinely don't think that any of the fans in the ground are doing it because they want to have a go. I think it's a fear thing. I think it's just a frustration thing. Because actually in the last 20 minutes, once Kudus scores that goal, the last 15 minutes, Spurs are really attacking. And we actually look quite good for the last 15 minutes of the game. And it's noisy and everybody's on side. But it's difficult once you've got to... Because you're not going to win a game in 15 minutes. You've given them, a 75-minute head start on you. So frustrating, disappointing. Home form, it's got to change. And it's got to be the fans that start the change, I think. Away on Tuesday night. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Okay if I give you an opinion, or prefer to just move on? Oh, God, this cough. Have another water. Good Lord.
It's because I'm talking too much tonight.
Right, okay. Well, you told me to shut up about Spurs, so I did. I can't believe this. The acoustics in the stadium's a new one now, I'll give you that. So Newcastle away, Brentford at home, Forest away, Liverpool and Palace. Fourth bottom over the next 5 for Spurs in terms of fixture difficulty rating. I don't think we're going there and investing in any of them right now in FPL. I don't think we are at all. Fulham, though, I thought they played pretty well. I mean, they took the 2 goals were sensational goals. Outside of that, did they create a lot? I thought they kind of got the 2 goals and just went, right, Spurs, you come and have a go at us and we'll catch you on the counter if we need to. Let's have a look at their fixtures. Any better? Slightly. City away next, and then Crystal Palace. City at home and Crystal Palace at home. Burnley away and then Forest at home. So 3 home games. I've got Josh King. Pretty happy to hold him there. I know he got the assist this week, but it was just a kind of sideways pass to Harry Wilson's lob from halfway inside the half, wasn't it? So not counting too much, putting too much credence into that assist from Josh King. But he did all right. Anybody else from Fulham that's on a catch in your eye ahead of that run of 3 at home? Because the away games are Burnley and West Ham as well, right? So it's not terrible.
No, it's not terrible.
Jimenez, given that Muniz is off for a bit?
I don't know. I'm just not that inspired. I think the front 3 slots are they're quite competitive at the minute. There's quite a lot of decent options that you can get in the front 3. And I don't think if I was gonna go down. I think I'd go all the way down with that third forward slot.
Yeah, all right. I've got eyes on that. I mean, Anderson's never... I don't think Anderson's ever a bad pick, really, in FPL, because he's so consistent on the defcons, isn't he?
How many clean sheets do you think they're going to get?
Well, home to City, probably not. Home to Palace, could happen. Burnley, Forest at home, West Ham away. Them three, great. I mean, in game week 16, when we get the 5 free transfers, would Anderson be one of the ones that you might switch in with those fixtures? Would be for me. Burnley, Forest, West Ham.
See, Burnley and Forest, I think they both score. I said to you before, Burnley score a consolation goal. So for me, no.
If Anderson's floor is 4, though, because of the defcons, you're quite happy with that, aren't you? 4, you get 4, maybe 8.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sold on on Fulham.
All right. Okay, let's move it on then if you're not sold from Fulham. Where else can we go? Let's have a look at Man City 3, Leeds 2 then. This was all about the little magician for me. What a game he had. I mean, we've already discussed the Haaland triple captain thing, so we're not going to go around that again. I'd prefer to talk about whether you think Foden and Doku and any of these guys are now longer term holds, because let's have a look at the Manchester City fixtures. Second only to Liverpool. Fulham, Sunderland, Palace, West Ham and Nottingham Forest. It is a decent looking run. There's a couple of tricky looking away games there. On another day, though, it could have been very different, right? 2-0 up to get back to 2-2 and for Leeds to be, frankly, in the ascendancy in this game. There was a period of time in this game where you're like, Leeds might nick this,
Yes, yeah.
And then, of course, Foden just pops up in the 91st minute. The second goal in particular for Foden, like the first one, he angles his foot really well, it goes in off the bar. But the way that he creates space for himself in tight areas and Leeds, regressing back towards the goal line all the time, he just found that space so well. Any thoughts to get in Foden or even Doku, anybody like that in your actual team rather than just free hit?
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to, really. I think the problem has always been the fear of rotation, hasn't it? Like with Man City, we always sit here and we go, well, yes, but they might be benched next week. Yes, but this, that and the other. But with Foden and Doku at the minute, they do seem to be the first choice. They do seem to be the ones that he is going to regularly.
He ain't rotating Foden at the minute, is he?
No, he
played the last 10 according to chat.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be. And like the likes of Cherky and Reinders, they're the ones that are getting the rotated minutes. And Doku doesn't really have a natural replacement on that side. Without Kevin there, Foden seems to have made an important inroad into his position on the field. So I think them three seem to be fairly consistent. The question for me would be where would you go? Because I spent a lot of time looking at the Foden versus Doku thing this week. And it was another one of these, and we'll talk about the other one later, we've already talked about the Sharda Dango one, I suppose, when we did Brentford, but it was another 50-50 decision that on another day goes a different way, because Doku has a couple of big chances in this game. He's really unlucky that he doesn't get a return. So I think if you didn't free hit this week and just bought in Doku, don't see that as I've gone on the wrong one and now I've got to try and swap it.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Like, I think on another day Doku gets something in this game, and then you're looking at, maybe he doesn't get 2, but if he gets a goal or an assist in this one, I think you're looking at it and going,
if you had to choose one now though, to bring into your FPL team, not free hit or anything, right? If someone said to you, get a City midfielder, which one would you go?
It's a difficult one, because in my head I still think that Doku's got the bigger haul potential.
Do you think?
Yeah, whereas I feel Foden is much more likely to be consistent over that period. So over the next 5 weeks.
Really?
Yeah. So for me, and when I was looking at Doku over the beginning part of the season, it was like nothing, haul, nothing, haul, nothing, haul. Like, it's all just like, it's big peaks and big troughs, which was why on a free hit, I was like, I'm going to play the potential for a peak. Whereas I think if I was doing it in my actual team, I probably would have erred the other way. I probably would have gone for Foden for the more consistency. So I think it depends on what you're using it for.
Propensity for risk, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know if I fully agree with you. I think Foden is
probably. I'm not saying he can't haul.
Probably is a bit more consistent than Doku. But if you had a player that was like consistent, and then had a peak in him as well, like he's shown this week, I think. I mean, if you ask me that same question of which of those two I'd go for, or any City midfielder, I think it's Foden easily over the next few weeks. I think it's an easy choice. And he's one that I might bring in because I've still got Reinders, for Christ's sake. I had a look at my bus team for next week. I was like, oh, God, you're back. So I've got to deal with him. I've got a bit of money in the bank. Not enough to get up to Foden. But with a hit, I could get there. I like you, I'd like to see see if Foden can follow it up with another goal in midweek.
I just don't agree with you because when you look back, and I was just looking back at Foden, so all right, let's go all the way back. So game week 1, 0. Game week 2, 1, 0, 12. Since game week 4, so from 5 onwards, 3, 1, 3, 3, 1, 4, 3, 2, 15. There was nothing to suggest that Foden was going to do this. So he looks like he'll be consistently there, maybe some assists, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, that's where he's been. Whereas Doku's had that. So that's why I did what I did. And it's frustrating that this week that Foden does this. I just don't think that Foden is that good a pick in comparison to Doku.
He seems to be the one getting in and around Haaland, though, right? Of all of them, he's the one, Foden, that's getting close. And without Marmoush, because Marmoush is going to go AFCON, right?
Yes.
So you've got to think that Foden's going to be in there supporting him in and around for the next few weeks.
Do you think... So he was tighter to Foden. Foden was tighter to Haaland the last couple of weeks. But Haaland's blanked the last couple of weeks. Like, I don't know. I still find this whole situation with picking another City mid difficult. Because I think there's obviously
It'll always
two.
Be difficult.
Yeah, there's obviously two that are better in terms of propensity for risk and being dropped.
All right.
But I don't know which one I'd go from the two. I think I'd still go Doku.
And I'll tell you what, when you, and I've said this before, when you have someone in your FPL team, you watch them closely. I like Nico Riley, Oh, what a nice player.
He's a person I should have got weeks ago.
He has got a 15, 16 pointer in him somewhere. Like, over Christmas, he's going to go big.
He'll be
somewhere.
One.
And I'm not, and I want to be on it because he looks absolutely brilliant. I know he gets the assist here, doesn't he, in this game? So we'll take it, right? But I just think he got a bit of everything. This guy, the way he inverts, the way he attacks, the way he loiters in and around dangerous areas. He's a very intelligent footballer. City fans, tell me what you think of Nico O'Reilly in the chat and in the comments. I like him a lot. I've liked him for the last few weeks, watching him from afar.
Yep.
But you watch him this week because he's in your FPL team. You're just like, oh, give it to O'Reilly. It's one of them, isn't it? You just watch it closer, and I'm just like, dude, he's a player. He is looking very, very good indeed. I like him a lot. And in actual fact, one of the comments in the chat, thank you for that. O'Reilly, an easy Senesi replacement. Well, let's talk about Bournemouth next. Sunderland 3, Bournemouth 2. What an absolute humdinger of a game this was in the pouring rain, like classic British November weather for this game, really tipping it down. Very feisty game, wasn't it? Really feisty game, especially with was it Lewis Cook that got red carded at the end when he did? That's a really nasty elbow, wasn't it? Really, really nasty one. So feisty game, almost, in the end, the full-time whistle, I think, came at an opportune moment because it looked like it was going to bubble over into something quite bad, like it was getting a bit confrontational, to say the least. Full of passion, proper good game of Barclays, this. But the comment was Senesi out, who is now suspended, right? So he picked up his 5th yellow card in this game, which is a bummer. I have to say, when we show my bus team later on, I really was kind of hoping that he wouldn't get booked because I do kind of need him for next week. But anyway, he is now booked. He's now got suspended now just for one game, I think.
Yes, it's just
one game suspended.
It's the 5th yellow.
So it's just the one in midweek.
He'll be out for the weekend. But then the fixtures aren't great when he comes back.
That said, the fixtures are not great when he comes back, and they've not exactly been like he's not been, and they've not been quite as good as perhaps he was at the beginning of the season when he was like raking in the DEFCONs on the clean sheets quite so regularly.
He gets the DEFCON even this week, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is a bit of a DEFCON monster, isn't he? That's the comfort blanket, isn't it, with having Senesi? That's the comfort blanket, because even if they concede, you're like, well, I'm probably going to get a
So
four.
same as you were saying about Anderson, like if you're going to sit here and say you think Anderson's a good pick because he'll get you 4 every week, then Senesi remains a good pick and you should hold through because he's the DEFCON's monster.
You're probably right. What are we saying about this overall game? That enjoyed the game, though. It was a great game, wasn't it?
Yeah, and also David Brooks also booked in this one, 5th yellow, so he's out. So they got Brooks out, Cook out, and Senesi out, all for the game against Everton in midweek, which doesn't bode well. Semenyo nothing again. He does get a little bit unlucky.
I think he's very unlucky.
Evan Nilsson.
I think he's... Do you think if Evan Nilsson just leaves it, it goes in, it's probably a goal.
Probably.
Because he touches it in, he's therefore offside. Because he's not in the goalkeeper's line of sight or any of that nonsense that we've had in recent times, have we? So I think if he just leaves it, it's a Semenyo goal.
Yeah.
So I think if you're a Semenyo owner, you can feel yourself a bit unlucky there. The fixtures are still good. Everton, it's Chelsea at home and then Burnley at home in 17 with only a trip to Old Trafford in 16. I say only a trip. I mean, it's a tricky old game. But again, they're one of the teams that have got 3 home games in the next 4. Selling Sessi, selling Semenyo. What are you thinking?
But the problem is, Lee, they've lost their form. So they're like... I appreciate that they went 2-0 down to West Ham last week. They're terrible.
Yeah.
And then, all right, they came back from it, but they could easily goes differently. If Nuno doesn't decide we're going to try and hold what we have at half time and take everyone off, they don't come back in that game, and they lose to West Ham, and then they're really in the mud. And this one, they're they're just throwing it away again, and that's what concerns me now. Senesi, I'm not too worried about. I got him cheap at the beginning when he was...
Yeah, same.
So I've got a lot of value in him. He doesn't feel like a priority sell because he does always get 3 or 4 every week because of the DEFCON stuff. So I'm not overly concerned about him, especially given it's just a 1-match ban and he'll be back at the weekend. Semenyo is a bigger issue. Maybe over the last couple of weeks I'd feel differently. Like if he scores... If Evan Nilsson doesn't get in the way of that and he gets a goal, that's fine. The week before he misses the penalty, or 2 weeks before? 2 weeks before, he misses that penalty, doesn't he? And if he gets that and the assist that he gets that week, then suddenly you're feeling a bit differently again. So maybe I'm being unfairly harsh on Semenyo, and maybe my expectations of Semenyo are just a little bit too high, because obviously over the early weeks of the season, he was so incredibly good and the form was so good, but we did say at the time, can this be a sustainable thing for both Bournemouth and Semenyo himself? Not going to AFCON, so that is a positive when it comes to him. I do think they will have to attack this weekend or this midweek against Everton though, because they haven't got any defenders. So maybe actually having Semenyo this time isn't terrible, especially given that Everton got absolutely spanked.
Maybe there is something in that. Maybe Iraola's not a stupid manager, isn't he? He's going to go into that game knowing that maybe attack is the best form of defence if they're missing half their back line. So maybe there's something in that. I hold him. I hold him.
I think
I agree with you. I agree with you on Senesi. I think I agree with you on Senesi. I think if you want to sell Senesi, be my guest. I think you're right. He gets the DEFCONs regularly. They've got 3 games at home in the next 4. And frankly, as we've both said, we've got bigger problems in mind. I got Ryan to steal, for Christ's sake. I've got lots of things to sort out. So Senesi and Semenyo, given that they've got those home games coming up, I don't see me selling them until I get the game week 16 top-ups, and then it's maybe I'll think about it. But for now, I think I'm going to... Semenyo will play for me against Everton. Yeah. He's going to play. Sunderland, the dream continues, right? I mean, where are they now? Like 3rd, 4th? I mean, it's looking...
They can't be that high, are they?
I think they are 4th. I think they are 4th in the league.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, unless there were some results today that affected that. But I think they're right up there and amongst it. And what I liked in particular about this game was... Okay, 2-0 down quite early on, and by the way, we need to give some props to Tyler Adams. What a goal! I mean, 6th. Okay, what a goal by Tyler Adams! Unbelievably good strike. I mean, what a goal! Roofs just didn't know what hit him, and you could see the panic in his eyes, couldn't you, as it's sort of sailing over his head. It was such a good strike. But to be 2-0 down and then come back to 2-2, and then to find the winner and to win it 3-2 in front of your own fans. I mean. It's dreamland stuff, isn't it? Dreamland stuff for the Black Cats. I mean, it's sensational stuff. So, have you got any Sunderland players?
No.
No, me neither,
I did. I had Alderate and I had... Well, it just ended up being just Alderate, didn't it? For a while. I don't. And it's one of those weird ones, isn't it? Where I think I'm so attuned to just going, newly promoted, not going there. Or just going for somebody super cheap that can sit on your bench. And I think that was the other thing, is that when I was wildcarding and changing stuff up a few weeks ago and selling some of the heavier hitters, I didn't have the need for a really, really uber cheap defender.
Yeah.
But actually, I think what we're seeing from Sunderland is that there's definitely plenty of options. The slight concern I have is that when I look at the Sunderland results every week, I'm not seeing the same names appearing week upon week for the goal scorers. Like,
no.
This week it's...
Xhaka pops up quite a bit, doesn't he? What an assist that is, by the way.
He does. To be fair, he does pop up quite a lot. And he also gets Defcon quite a lot.
Yeah.
So he's probably the one, and he's nice and cheap. So if you want to go for a bit of Xhaka in the midfield, I absolutely don't mind that.
Don't mind it.
No. But the others, they all feel a bit like you'd just be taking a punt. But maybe taking a punt is fine because you're not going to have to play them every week because they're going to be your cheap budget ones.
They're cheap, right?
And you can just bring them in when you think that they might have a good fixture for them.
Enzo Lefebvre, 4.9 million.
Pens.
On pens. I mean, it's not terrible, is it? It's not terrible.
I remember you liking him in pre-season, Lee.
Yeah, and I was waiting to see something from him. Maybe we are starting to see it. Maybe. I just love his name, Enzo Lefebvre.
Lefebvre.
A great name. That's what the people are here for, saying proper FPL, proper FPL insight. Let's go to, we've got to rattle through some of these games. Let's go to maybe the 4-1. Everton 1, Newcastle 4. Despite Dewsbury Hall scoring another worldie, right? I mean, the strike against Man United was good enough, but this one, the way he takes it out of the air and slots it away is unbelievable. Talk to me about Newcastle. There are a couple of really good set-piece goals from, I think you pronounce this guy Tiao, or Chow.
Chow.
I think, though, and we sat here a few weeks ago, and I said you were wrong about this, but turns out you were right, is that when Livramento got injured, I know, but I just don't want you to have another go at me. I'm scared now. When Livramento got injured, I said, listen, they'll have a replacement for him. It won't affect it. You said, no, it will affect their balance. They will have trouble. They won't be as good. Now, they have struggled a little bit over the last few weeks without him. And he's come back recently. In this game, I thought he was bloody brilliant, Livramento. And I thought he and Lewis Miley on the other side, I mean, I'm so glad they're both English, put it that way, because the two of them gave Newcastle much better balance. And I know, and they needed this Newcastle, right? Because actually, I don't think they'd won away from home all season. Nope. And in the press conference, in Eddie Howe's press conference on Friday, did you notice he was just like, look, we're bang up for this because we know we've not been good away from home. We've got a monkey on our back and we're really up for this. And they were from the get-go, like first minute, wasn't it? Tiao scored. I mean, the balance was there. They looked on it. Voltemada scores again, so he keeps ticking over. What a good signing he looks like. The assists are coming from all around the team. Lewis Hall getting in on it as well. So, listen, this is a very good result for Newcastle. Yeah. Very, very good.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, I mean, I think Voltemada was one of the ones that I obviously have in my normal team that I didn't have in my free hit team, because to be honest, I'll be quite honest, I did not think about Newcastle one bit when I was free hitting.
Well, it's a tricky game, you know.
It's a tricky
away
game.
form's bad and Everton away is difficult.
Exactly. They've lost 3, they've drawn 3 away from home. They've looked awful when they've left St James's Park. They haven't been in good away form. And I just thought, no, I'll stay out of it, because actually at the Hill Dickinson, Everton have been really good. Only Spurs have gone there and beaten them. Otherwise, they've looked really solid at home. Yeah. And so going into this one, I was kind of like, So when we were listening to this result come through, I was like, every 5 minutes I felt like Max was going, because he had the notifications on for it. Oh, this has happened. Oh, this one scored. And I was like, wow, I just didn't see this coming. Now, as a Nick Pope owner, it's obviously somewhat concerning that...
Yeah, what's the story?
It's a groin, apparently.
Right.
Now,
a few weeks, maybe?
If you think back a couple of weeks, there was a couple of weeks ago where Pope went off with his concussion-y stuff. And then there was a concern that actually Ramsdale might play another week prior to that because of some sort of issue with his groin. But then...
Not another tug of the groin. Dr. Sam's back. Not another one of those. Go on, move it on.
But I don't know whether... It didn't seem... I was reading what Newcastle said about it. It doesn't seem as if it's like, all terrible and he might be out for weeks. So I don't really know now what to do with him. One of those annoying ones that probably just have to wait and see. As a Nick Popo, I mean, I've got other things to do, and I have got a backup goalkeeper who is at least going to participate in a football match.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it's probably fine. Voltemada, though, to be honest...
Finish, by the way. Oh,
it's
what
lovely.
a finish.
It's a lovely finish. They're obviously much better at St James's Park. It's us lot coming and we can't defend for toffee. So, although we are better away from home, but nonetheless, we are terrible at St James's Park. Every year we go up to St James's Park and we get absolutely spanked. We've already been spanked by them once and they knocked us out of the cup. So, I'm quite happy to have Voltemada come back in, to be honest. Like that, he doesn't feel like a problem at all.
He doesn't feel not at all. I think the next couple of games at home, actually, you're right. You're better away than you are at home, according to the stats. But listen, going to St James's is difficult. Then it's another home game against Burnley before the derby against Sunderland in 16. But in 16, of course, as we keep referring to, you get your 5 free top-up sort of transfer, so you can do what you like. The next 2 for Newcastle look great. They look great. If you were in a mood to be punty, you've got Voltemada. So let's say that you didn't. Where else might you go? Is there anybody else where you'd think actually that's worth a punt for a couple of weeks as a differential? Because that's how I'm starting to think now with these 5 free top up transfers. I'm starting to think who might like Reinders. I want rid of. I've said that loads of times. Who might I get rid of? I know I get rid of Reinders. Who might I bring in for a couple of weeks before I get my 5 free top ups, my like mini wildcard? And actually, Newcastle, particularly after that performance, are bang on radar for me. I don't have Voltemada.
Oh, do you not?
And I don't know if I've got any. No, because I've got Mateta and I've got Haaland and I've got Guiu.
Oh, you've got Guiu, yeah.
So I don't think I've got the money to get up from Guiu to Voltemada. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't. So could I go for like a Harvey Barnes or someone in midfield? Could I go for like a Bruno Guimaraes or something like that? Or even somebody at the back? I mean, they look so much better with Dan Burn at centre-half as well.
Well, that was the other thing, is that he missed out on...
Yeah. Can they keep you and Burnley out in back-to-back games? I think they maybe can, you know.
No. I don't think they'll keep a clean sheet in either. And I mean that... I don't necessarily mean that in a positive way to Spurs. I just think that we do score goals and Burnley do score goals. Like... We're both a bit crap, but we do score goals. So I don't think there's a clean sheet there. I wouldn't be... If Nick Pope missed out and had to play Dubravka, I don't think I'm massively behind, to be honest. I think the Newcastle midfield are more interesting. If Harvey Barnes is definitely the form player, but I didn't think he was the best player in this game. I actually thought that of all of the Newcastle attackers, he was probably the one I was least impressed with.
And we should also pay heed to... So Nicola's in the chat. Hey, Nicole's in the chat. Sorry, not Nicola. Nicole's in. Nicole is our resident Newcastle fan over on the page, isn't she? Barnes could get rested soon, she says. So... Yeah, and she also then follows that up with Elanga had a good game. So we should absolutely listen to Nicole. She's a die-hard Toon fanatic. And yeah, maybe Elanga's one to have a look at then, if we think that Barnes might be rested, rotated, or maybe a bit hit and miss with his form.
Yeah, I think again the problem is, and it's a bit like we were saying about Manchester City assets. Like on paper they sound great. Like so you're like, okay, well Barnes, yeah, okay, well he's been decent recently. But then when you start to look at what's actually happening, so Elanga, I was impressed. I thought he played really good. It's probably the best performance I've seen from him since he moved. But so we got 5 points today. Great. Before that, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3.
You want to see more, don't you? You want to see more.
I'm not. One performance doesn't make me want to go there. Gordon, 1 pointer comes on, fine. Okay. Will we start to see him back? Well, yes, maybe. I think Visser is back and in the round.
Yeah, that's real punty though, isn't it?
And also, is he going to exit again on AFCON stuff? Bruno Guimaraes, yes, maybe you could go there. The last few weeks, actually, he's probably been the most consistent.
Okay. 4-10. One name though? Is there one in there that would stand out for you? Who would you say?
This is the problem.
Is it Voltemada or nothing?
I think that's what I'm saying, because when you look at the numbers, I mean, unless you want to punt on Guimaraes, which I don't hate, I think it's Voltemada.
Okay. All right, and then Everton, from their perspective, just a quick shout out to them. So who have they got? The Bournemouth game coming up next, of course, with a bit of defensive crisis from a Bournemouth perspective. Forest at home, Chelsea away. It gets a bit more difficult after that. I've got Tarkowski coming back into my team. Probably going to need him, I think. Probably going to need him, and I don't like it because I want to play Semenyo, as I mentioned before. Gets an assist in this game, but listen, it was a punt forward to Dewsbury Hall that Dewsbury Hall does a brilliant job of taking out the air and scoring.
Yeah.
But again, got bigger issues to sort out than Tarkowski. He probably plays for me next week, you know, particularly with the Sessi suspension.
I'm just looking at Tarkowski's numbers, because actually I think maybe been a little bit harsh on Tarkowski there.
I might have been, yeah.
Yeah, all right, 3 points this week, 8 points against Manchester United because he obviously kept that clean sheet, 5 points against Fulham. Like, he was semi-regularly ticking over additional points, Tarko. I don't think that's a problem.
There's no doubt that he carries threat from set pieces, he
Yeah, I
and
don't
Keane,
think
right?
he's
And
a
without
problem.
a lot of key defenders next week, Bournemouth, Everton might look to target that, right? So
Yeah.
I'll play him. I'll get him in. He's fine. I'll get him.
I wouldn't invest, but if you've got him already, I think that's fine.
No. All right. Let's do Chelsea Arsenal, then a couple more games just to discuss. Chelsea Arsenal, then the last one that we watched of the weekend. Another really good game. This lots of yellow cards for Arsenal. I noticed. Look at all them yellows, and I have to say, I was having this conversation in the Slack with the guys. Was that I don't go on too much about it. I didn't think Anthony Taylor had a good game at all. Right? He was. Yeah, but he was like the first sort of 15, 20 minutes, he was booking everything, wasn't he? Booking. And I was just like, mate, you're ruining the game a little bit here. And then for the sort of subsequent 10 or 15 minutes, he let everything go. And of course, what happens then is you've got all these players on bookings, and then you start letting stuff go. All the players go, well, hold on.
Yeah.
You can't book my mate 20 minutes ago and let that go.
I think he felt like he booked so many people so quickly. I think there were 3 bookings in the first 11 minutes or something.
Yeah. Then he was like, better not, in case I ruin the game and someone gets sent off.
I'm going to have to send someone off at this point. Yeah. It felt very early on, and somebody in the Slack said it almost immediately. Somebody's getting sent off in this game. But it didn't necessarily feel like it was going to be how it was.
Manufactured that way because of the referee.
Because of the yellow cards, for sure. Yeah, there was a lot of nastiness and niggliness in this game.
It's a highly charged atmosphere. It's first versus second. It's a North London. It's a London derby. 2 of the informed teams in the league. The last thing you need is a crap referee poking it. Like, just do your job, you dickhead. It's like he so badly managed that game. It was unreal. And then of course the Caicedo thing happens. I'm not saying maybe Caicedo doesn't do that if Taylor manages the game better. But it was just bubbling up to a point where somebody was going to put in a stupid tackle, and it was a stupid tackle, and it was a red card in my opinion because it's high and it's reckless and it studs up. But after all of that crap from the referee, it then still continued to be a pretty decent game. And props to Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea look the real deal at a minute, don't they? They really do. Let's have a look at their fixtures. Let's do them before we do Arsenal. Chelsea fixtures is it's Leeds up next, then it's Bournemouth, so 2 away games, 2 tricky looking on paper away games, Everton at home and then Newcastle away. It's not screaming investment, but I'd back Chelsea to go and get something out of that Leeds game. Who would you have your eye on, if anybody, in that Chelsea team right now?
That is a good question, because João Pedro really didn't impress me today.
No.
It's another game where I've watched him and been like, and went off on 54, I think.
Kingdom FC's here he is. He's been lurking in the chat.
I've mentioned him the whole
He's
stream.
Been lurking. He's barely said a thing on here, Kingdom FC. All of a sudden, we're talking Chelsea.
He's come to have a pop at the ref, has he?
No, he says, yeah, we do look the real deal, Lee, with a winky face. Here he is. Look, Kingdom FC.
Of course he's here.
I love that. Brilliant stuff. If you are struggling to get your eye on anybody, I think there's eyes on a lot of people in Chelsea.
No, it's not that I don't have eyes on people, but so I've had Caicedo for the last couple of weeks, and I've been semi happy with that.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's cheap. He's been enabling my team. My slight issue with Chelsea is it's fitting them in, because there's a lot of people in my team I've been happy with. So obviously with Semenyo, if he continues to be poor, it's very easy to move across to a Neto. And I've actually been very impressed by Pedro Neto over the last couple of weeks. And he was quite unlucky today. A couple of good opportunities that he had, I thought. Enzo Fernandez is always there and thereabouts, but I just don't feel the love that... I understand why Chelsea fans love him. I don't understand the FPL love that Enzo Fernandez gets.
Really?
No.
Okay. I think he's a great asset, and I think he's a phenomenal player.
It's not about him as a player. It's not about him as a player.
He looked absolutely brilliant today, and he was in dangerous areas. It was as a non-owner in FPL, it was uncomfortable. And you know what happens when you look at a player like that in FPL and you feel I'm uncomfortable not owning him. That's the player you want to get.
Do you feel like in the next week, when Palmer comes back on a pitch,
I have a bit of a concern about that, yeah. Particularly if Caicedo's not there for the next 3. It's like, well, does Enzo be a little bit... Did they put the reins on him a little bit? And then if Palmer comes back in, maybe he plays a bit kind of 8.5 rather than 10. Because in that 10, supporting João Pedro, He's been fantastic.
I worry that we have got used to a certain way of Chelsea playing over the last few weeks without Cole Palmer being there. And when Cole Palmer comes back in, there will be some dynamic shifts. Players playing in slightly different positions, potentially different personnel on the pitch at different times.
Yep.
I'm not scaremongering with this, though, because I don't think Cole Palmer starts 90 minutes on whatever night it is, Wednesday, I think.
No.
And then starts 90 minutes again on the weekend, because he's just come back from a relatively long-term injury and he's got a boo-boo on his toe. So I think over the next couple of game weeks, we'll start to see an increase in minutes for Palmer. And I just feel like I might want to just pause for breath and see.
I have the money to do Reinders to Enzo, and I'm seriously considering it this week.
Okay.
That might be my transfer this week. I think it's when you watch a player and you think, oh, I haven't got you. I wish I did. And you're reasonably well owned.
It's interesting.
And it's a bit scary. I think he's not just a phenomenal player, but as the chat is saying, he's got the highest XG of any midfielder this season. So you might be right in terms of his actual FPL returns, but I'd like to see his deltas. I'd like to see.
Oh, the deltas are big.
I'd like to see how many points he should have and where he could be, because we might start to realise some of that XG now, right? It might start to close that delta gap a little bit. I think
he might start to lose some of that now.
Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Because the Palmer factor is there in my head, no doubt about it. The Casado thing as well is a bit of a bother. But either way, this is a player that you'd want in your team, Enzo Fernandez. He looks fantastic. Arsenal then? What are we saying? Who have you got? Who did you have in free hit? Just Timber?
Yes.
And in your actual team coming back is Timber and Saka, no?
Yes.
Okay. Happy with that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Would I like a third? Probably. Obviously, I had a third in Gabriel. Gabriel's injury is a really interesting one, isn't it? Because we still don't really have a firm timeline. And subsequently, I've been kind of waiting for somebody to say, Gabriel's going to come back here. Because when we know that, then I can make a judgment call about, do I take my third Arsenal spot and use it? Do I leave it open so that I can immediately get Gabriel back as soon as he's back? Like, it's that kind of planning around Gabriel. And I'm starting to think that with no news, let's assume that he's not going to be here for December. And therefore get a different Arsenal player. Now, so I watched the Arsenal playing today with the view of, I need to pick another Arsenal player.
Who would you have?
Well, that is a good question as well. Declan Rice impresses me every week. Every week I watch Declan Rice and I'm impressed.
Him and Enzo today, I'm like, we're watching two of the best midfielders in world football at a minute. Them two, it's so good.
Declan Rice was really good. And he had an opportunity today that Sanchez saved, but could easily have gone in. So he's one that's been on my radar for a while. But at the time I got Saka, I would quite happily double up on the pair of them. It was interesting to see both Martin Odegaard and Gyökeres come on towards the back end of the game. And again, this is also narrative playing out in my head, is that, well, okay, these two are coming back. What does that mean for the players that we're seeing on the pitch? What does that mean for...
Is there players like that, right?
Correct. And I think that, because obviously last week it was all about Eze, wasn't it? We were all just sat here waxing lyrical about how fantastic he was in the North London derby. And he was. But today...
Not so much.
Not so much. And I think with these players coming back from injury, we'll see some changes. Obviously, also to stay defensively. When Saliba wasn't there alongside Gabriel and I saw those two centre-backs together, I thought, I no longer... and we said to each other, didn't we? I feel like I could have risked no Timber today. Had I known that Saliba was going to miss out and they weren't going to have either of their first-choice centre-backs, I think on the free hit I'd have gone without Timber and risked it.
I felt like he just sort of like dialed Timber back a little bit.
I think
because of the opposition. He dialed him up again a little bit when they went to 10 men and when they were pushing, especially when they were 1-0 down. Notice, but that's why Timber's so valuable for Arteta, because he's one of those players that he can dial up and down depending on how attacking or how much he wants him to be part of the attacking phase of play. I have to say, having him in my free hit this week, I felt so much more comfortable whenever he got the ball. Like for weeks now, I've had Raya and Gabriel, and then obviously I sold Gabriel.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here without Timber week after week, and it's horrible.
So
it's horrible.
So that's an interesting conversation then, because so you've still got what, Saka and who have you got in your actual team?
Raya and Saka.
So you could go for a Timber.
I might, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because having him, he's just involved in everything. And I think, as I say, I think they dialed him down a little bit. They'll dial him back up.
He could easily have got an attacking return today. There were moments in the game where he was attacking.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I must admit, I'm a big fan of Timbers. I have been for years now. Like, I've enjoyed owning him for the last few years. I think he's great.
Yeah. And again, great game management from Arteta. Right? He brings Calafiori off at half-time for Lewis Skelly. Because he's on a yellow and it's Anthony Taylor.
And by the way, Calafiori got 9 defensive contributions in that first half. He missed by 1.
Yeah, because he's having to do a lot of work, right?
He was doing a really good job and only comes off because he might get sent off.
The Esteval's side.
Yes.
Yeah, it says a lot, doesn't it, right? It's like, yeah, and like Arteta's just like, don't trust you, referee. So Calafiori's coming off. And do you notice within the first 30 seconds of the second half, is it João Pedro or is it I think it's João Pedro, goes up and like Hincapié maybe does like or how do you say this guy? Hincapié. He like brushes his face and João Pedro's down like a sack of crap, isn't he? Like writhing around on the floor. You're just like, mate, get up. Chalobah did a similar thing in the first half and it's like, they just target him. There's like, that was the game state that Anthony Taylor manufactured. It was so bad so bad referee. Right, what else do we want to talk about, Sam, from the rest of these games? Should we move it on a little bit?
Yeah, I think we can move it on.
Well done to Brighton beating Forest. Very good result. Villa now up into 4th now, Villa, aren't they? I think in the league.
Maybe even 3rd.
4-3rd Villa. I mean, the talk about a comeback. Flipping out. Very good indeed.
That up, didn't I, the league?
Very good indeed. Hincapié. Thank you, Simon. Hincapié. All right, I'll remember that one. I
don't think you have to say it quite in that, like...
Yeah, maybe not quite like that. But Villa now flying high, and Manchester United. We didn't talk about Man U Crystal Palace. Should do that one quickly. Should do that, shouldn't we?
I didn't watch any of it. Did you watch any of it?
No, I didn't.
It was coincided with being out for Max. So all we can say is we both took out Mateta on free hit.
Yep.
I actually didn't. I nearly changed my mind on that on Saturday morning. We were doing Sky on Saturday.
What happened with the pen? He did like a double hit and it got.
They said he double touched it and then they made him retake it. So he scored both.
I thought if you double touch it like that, that's like it's a null and void then. Because the first touch has to be a strike on goal, no?
I don't know.
I'm sure that's a precedent. Someone in the chat will tell me that. Maybe he was a bit lucky to have that retake. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure of the rules, but I'm sure we've had that before where a player's like double touched it. Was it Thierry Henry or something like that? And it was just like, well, it went in, but you know, the first hit has to be a strike at goal. Or something. I don't know.
All I know is on Saturday morning
the rules changed. Chat saying the rules have changed. Okay, interesting. Okay.
I very, very nearly changed my mind on Mateta because I just had this like wobble about Jarrod Bowen on Saturday morning. Was like, I don't know whether I'm letting the Liverpool nonsense for the last couple of weeks cloud my judgment here. Maybe I'm best to just stick with Mateta. Yeah. And in the end, I thought, no, okay, I'm going to go with it on the Bowen thing. And were it not for a penalty, maybe we get away with it. Ismaila Sarr goes off injured, and from Glasner's comments, it sounds like he's not expecting to see him again now.
Oh.
Until after AFCON. He thinks he'd be out for the next couple, and then obviously he's off to AFCON. So if you are an Ismaila Sarr owner, does feel like you've got to deal with him right now rather than waiting a couple of weeks. Yeah.
And from my perspective, taking out Bruno Fernandes on my free hit was not a good one, Sam. It was
not
a good one. But nevertheless, this is how my free hit ended up. 60 points on the free hit, bringing me up to 721 overall points.
Good game week rank.
Yeah, decent. Listen, I think, Foden's the key, right? Foden's absolutely is the key. And, of course, a little bit of bench jam, as you said before, with Salah coming off, with Dewsbury Hall 7 going on. That's due a bit of luck after the last few weeks, no doubt about it. A 12% rank change, so that takes my rank up to 1.3 when I was at about 2.3 before, so about 1 million off my rank, which I'm very happy about. Just for the podcasters, Kelleher in goal with the 2-pointer, so was willing him to save that penalty, but not to be. Nico Riley at the back with Matty Cash, and then my two kind of hedge defenders.
Yeah.
I didn't want to not have a Palace and an Arsenal defender, so I got Munoz and Timber in my free hit.
You were a point up on Gahey because Gahey got 0. So
just me not being brave enough really to go against them, but I just wanted a little bit of hedge in the free hit, and it was in those two really. Midfield was Foden, Rodgers, Sharda, and Dewsbury Hall. Well, it was Salah, but subbed in for Dewsbury Hall, and then Thiago and Haaland captain. The bench was Dubravka, Dewsbury Hall. Reinildo actually got 4 points, but sitting on my bench, and then Mark Guiu with 0. So yeah, overall 60 points. Pretty good. pretty happy with that. I think if you'd have said to me, you'll take 1 million out of your rank with the free hit, yeah, I definitely would have taken it. Foden's the star of the show, no doubt about it. Bit of a shame to not get anything from Sharda, and it was I've heard a few people say it was a bit of a 50-50 between him and Dango. I probably was a bit 60-40 Sharda, I think. I don't think I was ever really... Was I? I did have him in a draft, Dango, to be fair. I did have him, but nevertheless, I think that was a bit of a coin flip, that one. So if you've come out on the right side of that, well done. If you pick Sharda, then just unlucky, I think. So yeah, 60 points. Happy with that. Up to 1.3, so still not great at all, but we move, and we try and do something with this lot next week. This is the team that's coming back in. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, one of the reasons for free hitting this week was because I thought with most of the team coming back, I don't mind it, particularly with that midfield. So Saka at home to Brentford, Semenyo Everton home, Fernandes West Ham at home. Them three look great, right? And then I'm going to do something with Reinders, right? I've got to sell Reinders, haven't I? Bloody hell, just got to. Then at the back, it would have been Virgil, it would have been Gahey, it would have been Senesi, and then probably Tarkowski away at Bournemouth. But I've currently got Goodmanson in my bus team at home to Chelsea, which I don't really like. Well, it's not, I hate it, to be honest with you, but with Senesi suspended, I might have to do it. I don't know. And then Haaland and Mateta up front. I'm happy with the front five. Mateta, Haaland, Saka, Semenyo, Fernandes, all good. Josh King at home to City. I don't really like it, but if I get somebody in for Reinders, that could happen. And George was saying, Goodmanson was benched against City. So yeah, I do have to keep an eye on that one as well. So I've got the team has kind of got a Goodmanson who was benched. I've got King, I've got Reinders, I've got Guiu, I've got Senesi suspended. It's not great.
No,
it's not great. I don't think I need a hit in there. I don't think.
Hits for midweek rounds are always difficult as well because the midweek rounds always feel like they're the ones that are if there's going to be a rotation, I feel like it's going to be a midweek.
Yeah, I don't know, to be honest with you. I've got 2.9 million in the bank, so I've got a fair chunk of money, which was
some of that?
Well, that was my, I'll get Guiu and keep money in the bank to sort Reinders out and not get Thiago money, isn't it? That's still sitting there from 3 weeks ago when I should have just bloody got Thiago and wouldn't be in this situation now.
Yeah.
But as it is, I still haven't done the Reinders thing because I've had Gabriel and other stuff to sort out and other transfers I wanted to make and a free hit being played. So 2.9 in the bank, only one free transfer.
But so even if you did
the Reinders, I think.
But even if you did the Reinders to Enzo thing, what are you going to do? Still play King and bench Goodmanson?
Probably, yeah. Probably. And then I've got a team I'm happy with. We've made the exception of King, but he's at home to City. They can just conceded 2 against Leeds.
Yeah.
He could get something in that game, couldn't he? He could. It's a bit of a a punt, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking potentially. So the bus team looks okay, but I am going to have to make a move, and I am going to have to spend that money in the end. This was your free hit. Then talk us through it.
So 55 for me. I was very clear I was going Doku over Foden and Sharda over Dango, so I don't have any regrets about that. It's not. I wasn't even anywhere near 50-50. I wasn't even 60-40. I was like very much like 90-10. That's it.
Okay, fair dues.
So I can't feel too annoyed about it. I mean, I did feel annoyed about it yesterday, but it is what it is. For the sake of the podcasters, in goal I have Martinez with 7. Really pleased about that. Bit of upside from him.
Very good, yeah. Pulled off another couple of great saves, wasn't he? There was one in the first half or early second half, can't remember, but he deserves that 7, Martinez, this week. Yeah,
really good. Nico O'Reilly with 4. Was a little bit disappointed to see the clean sheet go there because I actually did think we might get a double digit out of him, and I was especially annoyed when Gavardio scored the goal because I was like, oh, you're joking, and then, but actually when he got the assist I was like, well, fine.
Yeah.
Like you, Munoz and Timber feel frustrating, and I do think had we known about Saliba, I would have taken the punt without Timber this week. But it is what it is.
I'd have always had him, I think.
I think if I'd have known Saliba was out, I'd have gone for Matt Cash instead. And that would have worked out in my favour because then I'd have had the defensive double up from Villa, which obviously stuck today. The midfield was generally quite disappointing. Doku with 2, Sharda with 3, Rodgers with 3, but Gakpo with 14.
Yeah, nice.
Is lovely. And I really nearly let myself be swayed out of that decision, right? Because people kept telling me I was mad.
With what, Salah?
No, without any Liverpool.
Right. Okay.
I just nearly changed my mind on it. And in the end, I was like, no, I've had Gakpo in every single draft. I'm just going to stick. Haaland is what he is. It was always going to be him. Thiago, was always coming in. And then Bowen, Mateta is a little bit frustrating. So Haaland with 4, Thiago with 13, and then Bowen with the 2. 55, it is a 1.2 million
Love it.
green arrow.
Love it.
I said going into it on the Q&A on Friday with Az, and I think possibly on Ohana on Thursday with you, my aim was somewhere over 1 million in green rank. If I could secure a 1 point something green arrow on a free hit, that would feel like success. And I think particularly given that it was a heavy, very, very heavy triple captain week, I felt like the free hit had to be bang on because the triple captain felt certain to be successful.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah.
So because of that, I was thinking, I think I'm going to struggle with a green arrow that's big with this one because I'm expecting the free hits, the triple caps to bang. So when Haaland blanks, I thought, I've just really got to get one player.
Yeah.
There's got to be one big hitter. And it took until Gakpo. I didn't think it was going to be him, I must admit. I thought it might be one of my my others. I thought it might be Bowen or
Rogers. Would do better than Frey, yeah.
Rogers had one off the bar today, so he could easily have done better. But yeah, generally speaking.
Okay. All right. And then the team that's going to be coming back in for this week is looking like this. Let me read it out for the podcasters while you have a little sip of water. You've got Nick Pope coming back in, which is going to be a bit of a problem for you, you'd think. He's possibly, well, it looks like he's going to be out for a couple of weeks. Timber coming back in with Gay and Virgil at the back. Saka, there's Josh King that we spoke about a second ago. Semenyo, Kudus coming back in. Haaland, Mateta and Voltemada. So the bench is Dubravka. Van der Ven on the bench again. There's Caicedo, who's going to be suspended. And there's Senesi, who's going to be suspended. So what with the 2 suspensions there and with Pope at the back... maybe some transfers got to be spent. How many transfers have you got in the bank? Just
and this
the
is
one.
why it's problematic, because obviously Nick Pope is going to be what it is. I'll start Nick Pope. If he doesn't play, Dubravka will just come on. Because in reality, I'm not convinced either of them are going to keep a clean sheet anyway. And yes, I could change out my goalkeeper. But I do think my team has got bigger issues than fixing the goalkeeper. The starting 11, I'm in principle okay-ish with. I'm particularly if Nick Pope doesn't play, I'm quite happy to have Kudus. If Spurs score, I do think he's probably likely to be involved. I would rather not have to play Josh King. He is supposed to be my third sub every week.
Yeah.
But he seems to have got promoted.
We're kind of relying on him more often than we would like at the moment, aren't we?
I don't think he's made it off my bench yet.
Oh, okay.
But this week it feels like a week that I do need. I might need him. I think the 3 weeks of Caicedo's suspension mean that he's the easiest sell. Like I said to you before when we were talking about Senesi, I'm happy to hold Senesi. I don't see him as that big an issue. Obviously for this week he is, but come the weekend, I'll be happy to have him back again.
Caicedo then on the shopping block?
Yeah, and he was anyway.
Right.
So by thinking about going Caicedo to Elliot Anderson,
yeah.
Obviously that would save me a little bit of money as well, which would be quite handy. I like the fixture for Nottingham Forest this week, and we didn't speak a lot about them, but his DEFCON ceiling is obviously big every week. It feels like he's sitting on 4 at the start of most games, and then obviously if they keep a clean sheet, there's an extra point there. If he gets involved in the attacking returns, there can be a point there. I don't have to do that though. I can go up from Caicedo. I have got money in the bank. Caicedo is obviously not an insignificant sum of money. He's 6. So I've got 0.9. I can afford to go up to a Declan Rice.
Oh, can you? Okay.
So I don't have to go.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't have to go down. I can go up. The question is, if I go up, is that the right thing? Because longer term, would I rather have that money to upgrade a Semenyo, for example? Or would I rather... what I need to work out between now and Tuesday is, where do I go with Caicedo? Do I think that the best thing for me to do in this circumstance is to play the fixture for Forest this week and come down and then have lots of money to upgrade somebody else later? Or is the best option right now to take Caicedo up? Because I can go up to 6.9.
Yeah, the player that I want to have a look at, I've not seen this game yet, as you rightly say, because we've not seen Forest, but I do want to watch Match of Day 2 tonight and have another look at Minter, because a couple of weeks ago I was keen on him. Then he got a couple of assists in that week where I needed to sort Gabriel out and didn't want to take a hit for Minter.
Yeah.
So again, kept Reinders. So Reinders to Minter or Reinders to Enzo is definitely on the cards for me. And I think Caicedo to Minter doesn't look like too bad a shout. I wouldn't mind that.
I mean, but I think the thing is when you look at it, like, I mean, I could get Enzo. I could go up to Enzo. I've got 0.9.
Yeah.
I can get Rodgers. He's 0.9 more. You know, there's plenty of options in that. I can get Doku if I wanted to.
Okay.
Like, there's options. I just don't know whether I want to invest all that money that I've got in the bank or whether I'd like to keep a little bit of it back just for upgrading somebody else the week after.
Very good. All right. Well, listen, that is the end of the FPL Family Show for today. But yes, I wanted to just get back onto this screen, really, because 2 nice green arrows for us, as you would hope for, right, in a free hit week. You play your free hit, you've got to hope that you're going to get a green arrow. For us to both whack 1 million off of our ranks was really nice, though, I have to say. And even then, I feel like they've both the free hits have done pretty well. But for me to knock 1 million off just like that, it still feels like, even though we're in game week 13, we're coming into game week 14, it still feels quite compact.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I mean, I looked at my score today, and I did think, I thought that's a green arrow. That'd be good. That'd be a few hundred Ks, green arrow, hopefully. But for it to be like just over 1 million, I'm like, maybe the game is a bit more compact than we thought, or maybe we're floundering around in the millions. They are big jumps, as you get into the millions and you get up into 500Ks, the jumps get wider, don't they? The chasms get harder to cross. So I don't know. Maybe it is still, maybe the gaps are big because we're still down there in the ranks, right?
I think the thing is that we've still got a very powerful chip left in our back pocket in the triple captain, and given that 1 million managers had theirs blank this week, there is another opportunity between now.
Gotta make that work, haven't we?
Like, for me, I can't have a repeat of last season where I just have Haaland on a 1 goaler.
Yeah.
It has to work, and it has to go on I am ever increasingly sure I'm going to play it on Saka in 16, because every time I watch Arsenal, I really like them. And I watched Saka today. He could have had a hatful today in terms of the way he was involved and the way that they play. And Wolves are not improving yet at all. And so unless we see a big jump from Wolves in the next week, I think there's potential to go outside of Haaland and just take a gamble that might boost your rank massive.
Very good. All right. Tell the folks at home, Sam, what is coming up this week, including the fact that you've got to get onto the official fantasy podcast in literally about 20 minutes with Jules and Kelly. So we better wrap this up.
I am going to come off of here. I'm going to quickly go and run an update on our pod script and then start recording with them 2 monkeys at 11 o'clock. So that will be out.
Which is in 15 minutes.
Which is in 15 minutes. And I haven't finished the script.
R.I.P. your voice.
It's, oh God, at least I can mute that while them talking. So I'm doing that tonight, and then I'll be back again with them on Thursday morning. 2 FPL pods this week, 1 for game week 14, 1 for game week 15. So you catch us 2 times on that. Otherwise, it will just be... Oh, and Az and I will be back on Thursday with the Q&A as well. Literally, R.I.P. my voice this week. But otherwise, it will be...
Good.
A bit of a busy week because, of course, not only are we producing content, but we've also got football matches on Tuesday, so do not miss the deadline.
Yes, do not miss that deadline on Tuesday, guys. We'll be back with an Ohana podcast on Thursday over on Patreon for you all to listen to, and of course, we'll be back this time 9 o'clock Sunday night for the usual FPL family, as we do every single week, where we'll be looking back a little bit at game week 14, but mostly at 15.
We'll be doing a little bit of 14 review in our Ohana.
Yeah, Ohana will probably be a 14 review, and then this time next week will be a 15 review. But yeah, the game week's now coming. You know what we're going to say, right? Game week's coming thick and fast between now and Christmas, or even between now and the New Year. So, yeah. Stay on it, stay engaged. There'll be lots of other FPL managers that sort of miss game weeks and miss deadlines. So now is the time, if you're floundering in those ranks like me and you are a little bit, now's the time to hopefully make a step change, particularly on the back of a good game week 13 and a good free hit. So like, subscribe, guys, all that good stuff. We'll see you on Ohana on Thursday and then back here over on YouTube next Sunday. Cheers, guys. Speak soon.
Bye, guys.